Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to show you how to set up an AI automated personalized video system that I personally use in my cold email outreach to get over 18% reply rates and more than 30 meetings booked a month. I myself am pretty shocked about the results these video emails are getting. I personalize all my outbound emails, but these video emails are outperforming all others. And I don't think it's overused just yet. So in this video, I want to show you my setup and how you can do the same, because I think you can really take advantage of this while it's still relatively unknown. So first of all, you might have heard of these platforms like HeyGen or Synthesia to personalize videos. Now I'm not using those. In my opinion, there are two main problems with these softwares. The first one is it's still not good enough yet. They just look too robotic, too impersonal, and in the end, just too fake. And second of all, they can be quite expensive for these personalizations. So I found a way to personalize videos without the robot-like avatars and where it's actually mostly me talking. So if you're interested in this, keep watching and I'll show you step by step how to set it up. So before showing you the automation in make.com, I do want to give you a brief overview of how this AI video personalization works. So basically it consists of two components. The first one is a platform called Sendspark, which we use to personalize our videos. So this is basically a simple personalization tool that automatically clones your voice and personalizes the name of the prospect. So the way it works is I record a video, and when I record my video, I say, "Hey, watermelon" in the beginning, and then I do my video as normal. Then the software will identify that I said watermelon, and it will change that word watermelon for the lead's name, right? By cloning the voice of the rest of my video. So instead of saying, hey, watermelon, I'll say your name. Hey, Oscar, or hey, Jennifer. And the second thing it will do is it will put the URL of the company you're reaching out to in the background of your video. So it looks like you're scrolling through their website while you're doing your pitch. So those are two sort of nice little personalization points. I can show you a quick example.
Hey Jennifer, I just checked out your website and I thought it was really interesting what you guys are doing. And I also saw you were hiring for BDR positions.
So you can see I say, "Hey Jennifer," and then I'm scrolling through the website, right? So is it perfect? It's not, but I think it works well enough for people to believe that it's actually true. And also I think they sort of fade out your camera at the moment where you're actually saying watermelon. So it's hard to see that you're maybe saying something different. So this is sort of a nice little personalization, but I wanted to make it even better, right? So I use, usually in my outreach context, I use a system called outreach personalization process. Now, what is an outreach personalization process? It basically means just personalization of your emails or your videos is not necessarily a good thing. You need to have a reason for reaching out to them. That's where you get the highest reply rates, right? If you haven't found an observation on this company that is the reason you're reaching out to them, that is way stronger than just a personalization. Because I could say something like, "Hey, I saw you live in Amsterdam," but it's a personalization, but it has nothing to do with the service I'm offering. So we need an observation that ties in to the solution we're offering. So in my case, in my outbound outreach, in my video outreach, I'm trying to sell my AI BDR agent services. So what does this service do? It basically finds prospects, it researches them, it does a personalized outreach, just like this system. It manages your inbox and even books meetings. So it basically takes over the job of a human BDR agent. So this is the service I'm offering. So my personalization process is I sort of have to find relevant observations about this company that I can use in my outreach, and in this case, in these videos. So what is the best possible observation I could find when I'm offering these kind of services? In my opinion, I think the best case scenario is when a company is actually hiring for BDR positions, because then I can come to them and say, "Hey, I saw you're hiring for a BDR position. Have you actually considered using an AI BDR?" Right? Now, not all companies will be hiring BDR agents. So I need sort of a backup personalization. So what could be another good one? It could be they had a recent funding round. Why? Because usually companies that had a recent funding round, they have to go very hard on sales and grow revenue. So this would be a good sort of context for them to use my BDR. So this is sort of the system I'm using. I'm going through different observations I could find from best to worst until I find one. And that one I'll use as sort of a reason to outreach to these people. So that's the way my automation is set up. So besides just doing the name and the website in the background, I'm using a research tool to find sort of these relevant observation. And if I find that a company is hiring a BDR, I'm using a different template, video template, than when a company, for example, had a recent funding round. Now, let's say that they have all of these things, they don't have it. You always need sort of a backup, a fallback personalization, which might be a little bit more generic, but you can always use it when none of the other sort of observations were found. I think this system is a very good system to think about outbound personalization anyway, but this is also the system I use here in my Make.com automation. So you can hear me say in this one, I also saw you were hiring for BDR positions.
See what you guys are doing, and I also saw you were hiring for BDR positions.
Now, this is one of my templates. So if my research on this lead finds that they were hiring for a BDR, then I use this video template. But I have a few more, right? So I have another one here, for example, funding. So if they had a recent funding round, I would use this template.
Hi, Oscar. I just came across your website and really liked what you guys are doing. I also noticed you recently had a new funding round, so congrats on that. I can imagine.
So I use that as a reason in this one. So that's how the Make.com automation is set up. You can see here I have different video templates. My actual one has even more, but just for simplicity of this video, this is the way it works. So now that you have that context, let me get you through this flow, right? So this flow starts with my CRM, in this case HubSpot, which of course is easy to switch out if you have another CRM. Basically, I find my new prospects in Apollo and other platforms. That is automatically synced to my HubSpot. And when a new contact is created in HubSpot, this flow is triggered. So what happens here is the new lead is going to be sent to a Relevance AI tool I built, which does research on the lead. If you don't know Relevance AI yet, I do have a full tutorial on my YouTube channel on what it is and how you can build AI agents and AI tools with Relevance AI, but I'm going to show you in this video too how I've set this up. So basically what this tool does, it does the research on the lead. So it finds sort of these observations that I mentioned before. So it does research on the company and looks for, okay, are they hiring for a BDR? No? Okay, then we go and check the next. Did they have a recent funding round? And then we go through the different observation steps. Now, depending on the research result, we use a router here to send it to different templates. So in this case, let's say they're actually hiring for a BDR, then we send it to this template, which is the template where I say, I saw you were hiring for a BDR agent. And if they had a recent funding round, I send it to this template where I say, congrats on the recent funding round. I can imagine scaling sales is a priority right now. And of course, this is the fallback, which would be the most generic one. If we can't find any other observation, we always send it to the most generic one. So this is the Relevance AI app. This is Sendspark API. I'm going to show you later in detail how to set this up, but I just want to give you an overview of how this system works. And then lastly, we send it to Instantly, where we actually send the emails to our leads. So we upload the lead and the video onto Instantly. We enroll them in the campaign. And then lastly, we update our CRM to say that this lead was enrolled in our cold email outreach. So that's a basic overview of this automation. So now I'll show you a quick example, and through the example, I will then explain step by step how you can set it up and customize it to your specific use case. So remember, as always, all the templates are for free in the description below. So let's say we have a new contact here. Just have an example here. That we're going to pull in. So in this case, we're just going to run it manually once. So it gets the new contact. Now it sends it to the Relevance AI app, which is doing the research on this lead, where it's basically going to try and find if this company is hiring for BDRs or if they had a recent funding round. You can see it's already done it. So in this case, the outcome of my Relevance AI tool, we can see is hiring. Right, so it means that this company is hiring for BDR, and then I simply set up a filter here that says if this output of the Relevance AI tool contains hiring, then send to this. And of course, in this template, we have it set up with me saying, hey, I saw you were hiring for a BDR. So it has generated the personalized video, it has sent it and created the Instantly lead and campaign, and it has updated the CRM. So we can now check quickly in Sendspark what's happening. So if we go to our campaign, you can see it's generating this new video. If we click refresh, we can see it generated the personalized video with the background of the company.
Hey, Derek, I just checked out your website.
And now we can also see if it was added to our Instantly campaign. You can see he also was added to our Instantly campaign, where if we go in the sequence, I have the video pasted here. I'll show you later how you do this, but you can see this is how it works. So I'll go step by step. I start with HubSpot. So of course you can make this, you can trigger this from any CRM or even from Google Sheets, right? So in my case, I've done is set up a search for contact. Now in my case, I search for contacts with a filter, right? So with a filter that is enrolled does not equal yes, right? Because basically what I do, every person that is enrolled in my Instantly campaigns, I update here in the end to yes, meaning that they won't be enrolled again, right? So I just find anyone who's not enrolled through this search for contact. I in this case, I only limit it to one, and then I run it every 5 minutes. And that lead will get pulled, and then that will be sent to Relevance AI. Now I'm going to show you the Relevance AI app right now, how I've set it up and how you can customize it. So for Relevance AI, we always need the HTTP model, which I'm going to show you also how to set that up. But if we're in the Relevance AI dashboard, we can go to the tool I created, which is the Personalized Video Researcher. Now, if you've never seen Relevance AI yet, I do recommend you check out my other YouTube video where I explain in detail how to set this up, but I will go through the step-by-step in this video too. So the best way to show you how this one works is by actually putting in an example. So I'll just go back and put in a quick example and let this tool run. So here are the user inputs I defined. So in this case, you have the contact name, the company name, and the contact email, which I get in, of course, from HubSpot, right? These are the user inputs, and I store these user inputs into the variables, as always, in Relevance AI, which we're going to use in the next steps. Now, the first step is to find the company URL, right? Because we suppose we only have the name in this case. So basically what we're doing is we're just looking at the email and taking the domain name, because these are all professional emails or work emails. So we find the domain name, we do a Google search and find the, we do a Google search API here, right? And we, through the Google search result finding, we try and find the company URL, which we found here, right? So we store this company URL into this variable. And again, we're going to do a Google search. In this case, I'm looking for the LinkedIn profile of the company too. So we put in the company URL plus LinkedIn, we do a Google search, we feed it to an LLM to say, try and find the company LinkedIn URL, which you found here. I think in this actual flow, this one's not even necessary. I think it's still there because of, I edited this tool from another one where I actually did need the LinkedIn. But anyway, you can see I found a LinkedIn URL here of the company. And here I'm actually also trying to find the LinkedIn of the contact person. So you can see a similar process, and we found also LinkedIn of the contact person. Now here's where the interesting part starts, where it's the observation mining, right? So here we're gonna sort of look for those observations that I mentioned before, which we want to personalize our videos on. So the first one is, of course, are they hiring for a BDR or any sales position, right? So basically what we do is we use the Google search API step. Right, if you don't know, you could just add them here. They're already built into Relevance AI, the Google Search API. And all we do is we put in the variable here in the double brackets of the company URL, and we add in careers because we want to find the career page. And with the career page, we're going to scrape that page and actually sort of identify if they're hiring for these specific positions or not. So the thing is, many of these companies have multiple career sites, right? They might have one on their own website, and they have some on these public websites where they post platforms, etc. So what I instructed this LLM to do is actually to extract 3 different career websites for this company. So it will, I can read it quickly. Your professional Google search researcher who specializes in identifying the right career pages and URLs of the following company. So your task is going to be to identify the career page of this company, right? So basically you can read this in detail again in a template, but basically what it does is like up to 3 different career pages and then output this result into a JSON, right? Why do we do a JSON? Because we want to separate the outputs. If you want to know in detail, again, I have more information on JSON in my other video. Anyway, we get 3 different URLs here, right? And then we use the convert string to JSON, where we actually get the JSON into the multiple outputs. And then we can store each of these in a different variable. And then what we're doing is we're using these and we're going to scrape all of these pages, right? So we put in the first variable here again, this is the built-in web scraper of Relevance AI. So we scrape the first website here. So you can see here's the scraped page. We scrape the second page too. And the third page. And then we feed this all to an LLM and say, identify if this company, as a top tier AI analyst, you excel at extracting meaningful insights from complex data sources. You've been tasked with analyzing the scraped career pages of company. And in this case, right, you identify the amount of open positions this company has for the following job roles: sales development representative or business development representative, BDR. So we can see SiteSize has 1 open position for sales development representative and 1 open position for business development representative. So in this case, I add in one more step. I basically put in this outcome and it's sort of an evaluation step and say, you're a world-class AI categorization specialist. You've been tasked to analyze the following observation results. So here we'll basically say, okay, is this searching if the company is hiring for the BDR position a successful observation or not? And in this case, we have successful. So because it's successful, we're actually not running the next step, which is in the next step, we're going to look for the funding round, if they had a recent funding round. But as we've already, in this case, had the best observation possible, which is they're hiring for a BDR, we're putting a condition in the rest of these steps that you don't have to run, right, if the outcome of this was actually successful. So this whole part shouldn't have to run. And then the last one is just categorization, right? So it puts a categorization on the research result, which this is the output we get inside of our make. As you can see, the output here of our tool is hiring cadence, right? And that is exactly the filter we set up in this next step. So we put a router here to sort of decide to which video template it goes. So how do you connect this Relevance AI app? So basically we have to set up an HTTP make a request module. Then the URL we're going to find, if you came and you've cloned this tool, you will come to a screen just like this, and then you have this option API, where you have an endpoint which you can copy and paste in the URL. Then you can paste that there. Then you have method, which is post. Then you have to add 2 headers, and I can show you that here. The first header is content type, application JSON. You can also find that back here. Right, in the sample curl, you can see content type, application JSON. So you can literally just copy and paste this. And then the second header will be authorization. And then you'll have to put in as the value your API key. So you can generate your API key right here. So you click on that, you copy that, you paste it in the second here. I'm not going to show you my API key, but that's it. And then in the end, all you do, so you do post, you paste in the URL, you put in the headers, and then you have to always select raw as the body type, and content type is application JSON. And then for the request content, you can also go back and then you copy this request body. And here's where you put in the variables. So in this case, our AI app needs the contact name. So we go back to HubSpot in this case. If you have a different CRM, of course, you have to put it from there. So we have to get the name between these quotation marks, right? The company name and the contact email. So you do that for all 3. And then you always select here parse response, and okay, then that one is set up. And then I'll show you now how to actually set up this Sendspark API. So again, right, this template is available in the description below. So for the Sendspark API, you do need the paid plan. So they actually say that you only have access to the API at the $150 plan, but that's not true. You can actually access it with a $50 plan. The $50 plan, I think you get 500 personalized video minutes, which is quite good. And then you go to the API credential tab, and these are going to be the important ones, is your API workspace ID, and of course your API key and secret key, right? So if you have downloaded my template, my make.com template, you will find this here already. So if you go in here, you will see this URL, and you will have to switch out this part, the part behind workspaces. You will have to fill out your workspace, which you can find inside of Sendspark here, right? So you copy that in and you change this part. And then also the second part you're going to change is the dynamics. Now the dynamics is the campaign, the personalized campaign you created. So I will show you here. Here are all the different campaigns. So for example, this is my hiring, like the BDR campaign. So I look at the URL and then I just take this last part, before list, and that part is the dynamic ID. So we copy that and we paste it in this part, before prospect. Right, and that's basically how it identifies to which campaign it should send it. So for each of my templates, that part is different, right? Because I'm using different templates. So, and then in Sendspark, you actually need 3 different headers, right? We have the same one as in Relevance content type application JSON. Now the second header will be your API key, which you can find back here in your API credential dashboard. So here you have your API key. Please don't use it, guys. You'll need the secret one anyway. So you copy in the API key here, and then the third header is the secret API key, which you can generate on that same screen, right? Create new key, and then you'll get your secret key here. So those are the 3 headers. Then lastly, you will need to select, again, body type raw, content type is application JSON. Here's the request content. You can find it in the documentation page of Sendspark, or just use my template here, because it will be the same for you. And then you fill out, of course, the variables here, the contact name with the variable from HubSpot, first name, email, and the background URL, right? This one is important because this is what Sendspark puts behind your video. All right, so this is the one of the company, of course. And parse response, yes, and then we're all set up. So the way this works then is we then send a lead to Instantly, right? So we add them to a campaign. Of course, you can change this out for your specific email sender or provider, but in my case, I use Instantly. So I select the campaign, I add in the lead and the first name. Now, I actually didn't have to add in the video. Why? Because the video actually takes a little bit to put in, and what you can do, this is what Sendspark has as a feature. If you're in your dynamic videos, you can actually just paste in a snippet already inside of your Instantly campaign. So if you go here to share campaign and you click your email provider, they have many available already. In my case, Instantly, you can just copy a snippet, a code snippet. You then go to your Instantly campaign, and let's say you have a new email here. Let's create a new one. So all you do here is you do code view, you paste in the snippet, you go back, and now it will automatically sort of personalize it. So it will identify through the email that which personalized email it is from these lists you generate. So you don't actually have to send it inside of Instantly. You just can paste in this snippet of code, and it will automatically identify which video to pull for which contact. So that's all you need to do there. And then you can send your personalized email. So that's it. And then the last part really is I update my CRM. So the enrolled column, which tells me if these people have been enrolled in my personalized outreach or not, I change the value to yes. So in that case, I won't pull them again and put them in a new campaign. So that's the setup I have. Of course, to customize this to you, you do have to think about what is your use case, right? What are you selling? What are good observations for you to reach out to? And then, of course, besides the personalization of the name And the background, you want to change your Relevance AI app to sort of find these observation points that are relevant to you, and then make your templates based on that. Now, if you want the really simple version, you can also just leave out this part of Relevance AI and the router part, and basically just go HubSpot to Sendspark, and then add it to your Instantly campaign in HubSpot. And in that case, of course, you don't have the extra personalization of the observation, but you will still have an automatic personalization of the name and the background URL in your video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned something today. I know it's a little bit of a long one and maybe a little bit complicated, but if you do have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. If you got any value out of it, I'd appreciate it a lot if you can like and subscribe to my channel. I try to get a lot more content like this out. And I am also available for consulting calls if you're interested in some business solution for yourself. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.